We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Sean Carter is just as bad as the Hitler. And I know that for a fact. I got the scars to prove it. I want to know what a box cutter feels like going into your skin and ripping you? I can tell you how it feels. Y'all ain't seen shit yet. That cancer shit, that's nothing.
So are you trying to say like Jay-Z put hands on you?
I'm saying Sean Carter remembers everything he did to me and he's got it on tape. Just like Diddy, it's gonna be the women that give him in the end. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
Hey yo, thanks for tuning into The Source, your source for celebrity news. Check this out. By now you've all heard that Jay-Z has been implicated in an essay that was filed by Tony Busby on behalf of a young girl who claims that Jay-Z and P. Diddy assaulted her after the Video Music Awards in 2000. According to the then 13-year-old, after the show there was an after party, and she went to the after party, and while she was there, Diddy gave her a couple of drinks, and then she went to a bedroom where Jay-Z, Diddy, and another unknown female celebrity were present, and while they were all in that bedroom, she says that Jay-Z and Diddy tag-teamed her and took turns assaulting her, while the unknown female celebrity just stood by and watched. Now, after the allegations dropped, Jay-Z jumped online and responded to the allegations with a strongly worded letter. And Jay-Z wrote, "My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir, it had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud that you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny." Now, after Jay-Z said that, he continued on to say, "My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. It is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit." Now, it's very interesting that even though Jay-Z claims to have written this letter all by himself on his cell phone 34 minutes after the lawsuit dropped, the rhythm, the flow, and the wordplay of this letter is very different than the rhythm, the flow, and the wordplay of his bars and his rap verses, which leads me to believe that Jay and Bay and their attorney knew that this lawsuit was dropping, and all of them wrote and revised this letter with the assistance of a large legal team before the whole thing went public. And I mean, it's totally amazing how a dude who's supposed to be able to make a song cry can't even make a letter whimper the words, "I didn't do it." And somebody who agrees with me when it comes to this letter is 50 Cent. Because 50 Cent is like, Jay ain't write that letter.
The Jay thing, you could tell the lawyer wrote that statement instead of the publicist because he was being a little combative. The statement is something from, you can tell it was written by a lawyer because there's a point where it kind of gets aggressive. He says, you're going to find out how I'll handle this. And that's an attorney want to be combative with another attorney. That's not like a publicist would say this.
Right.
Yeah.
When you see things like this, Fifth, and there's I saw this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And this is on your yeah, it says I don't know what's going on, but are we still gonna have the Super Bowl? I'm just asking for a friend.
Yeah, I'm asking for Kendrick. I'm just trying to figure out if we're still doing everything the way. Because look, they will fall back. The NFL, they won't necessarily be associated to that.
Right.
Anyhow, despite social media going bananas after Jay's name was exposed in connection to P. Diddy's, Jay and Bay were later spotted like a day or two later at Blue Ivy's premiere for The Lion King. And I gotta tell you, the family didn't look to be too stressed. Now, even though Jay-Z is over there looking like it's all good in the hood, you know darn well that when these allegations first dropped, Jay-Z was over there looking like this when he thought about the fact that he could potentially lose his wifey, Beyonce.
Tell me about Summer Jam 2001.
Crazy. It's live. We the champions. You heard
Michael Jackson.
We live.
King of rap, the king of pop. Holla.
Turned out crazy. Big event, 20,000.
It's the rap.
Yo, I would definitely pay to know what was on Jay-Z's mind right there, because that dude right there was definitely thinking about something. So, let me tell you this. Even though we know that Jane Doe amended her lawsuit to include Jay-Z in addition to Diddy, we also now know that there's also an underage male who is also suing Jay-Z for assault, because Jay-Z disclosed that info when he sued Tony Busby for alleged extortion under the alias John Doe.
I'm not a lawyer, but did you know that before Jay-Z was included in this amended Diddy lawsuit, the firm that filed the lawsuit was sued for extortion by a John Doe? A little bit of context. The extortion lawsuit was filed on November 18th by a John Doe who is described as a celebrity and public figure who resides in Los Angeles, California, and he's bringing this lawsuit under the pseudonym John Doe to avoid the irreparable harm to reputation that he seeks to prevent through this action. The plaintiff will disclose his identity to the court through a sealed in-camera filing or as the court otherwise deems appropriate. Now, in regards to this extortion lawsuit, Tony Busby posted a statement saying that Jay-Z previously denied being the one who sued me and my firm. Busby goes on to call the lawsuit frivolous and clearly believes that the John Doe is Jay-Z. So, of course, I read through the lawsuit, so let me tell you about it. The lawsuit goes into who they say Tony Busby is, and child, they had a lot to say. It starts off saying that Busby and his firm are shamelessly attempting to extort exorbitant sums of money or else claiming that they will publicly file horrific allegations against John Doe, including multiple instances of rape of a minor, both male and female, unless he complies with their demands. Again, this was filed 3 weeks ago, so it was before the amended complaint was filed today. Then the suit says that Busby and his firm have a history of extorting money from high-profile individuals by threatening baseless legal action, including a situation from 3 years ago when the FBI apparently opened an extortion investigation in connection with Tony Busby and a client he was representing. The client, through the firm, was suing a football player named Deshaun Watson for SA, and while the lawsuit doesn't say what exactly happened with that FBI investigation, it does say that Deshaun Watson was never criminally prosecuted because 2 separate grand juries rejected the charges, which John Doe and his team say prove that the claims were baseless. This lawsuit also notes that Tony Busby and his firm are currently representing clients who are suing both Yella Beezy and Chris Brown, which again they say goes to show that this firm represents clients who target or seek out high-profile individuals that they can get a payday from. From there, the lawsuit goes into one of Tony Busby's own situations, saying, quote, Tony Busby was arrested in March of 2016 for driving under the influence, but Harris County District Attorney Devon Anderson personally dismissed the case after Busby completed pretrial intervention. The dismissal raised significant concerns because having the district attorney sign off on the dismissal was exceedingly rare. And while the pretrial intervention program generally lasts a year, Tony Busby's case was dismissed after 8 months. Then there's even more claims about Busby taking on clients whose goal is to extort high-profile people, including an NFL player whose name is Brandon McManus? I don't know how to say his last name, but the overall takeaway is, according to this lawsuit, Tony Busby and his firm have a pattern of bringing about outrageous allegations against high-profile people and then using intermediaries to send threatening demand letters to those high-profile people. And if those people refuse to pay, the firm then uses the media to try and destroy those people's reputations. So specific to this instance, the lawsuit says that Tony Busby and his firm have basically tried to capitalize on the bravery of the first 9 victims that came out into Diddy by creating a hotline and then advertising that hotline and saying that basically there's money to be made if you have a claim against Diddy and you don't even have to reveal who you are. But the problem, according to this lawsuit, is now that Diddy's behind bars, he won't be making payments to any of these clients anytime soon. So Busby and his team have devised a scheme to obtain payments through threatening anyone with ties to Diddy and that has means and a reputation of their own. So someone like Jay-Z, for example. The suit says that in November of 2024, Tony Busby and his firm made demands to John Doe and his team, and the demands included allegations that John Doe had raped multiple minors, both male and female, who had been rugged at parties hosted by Diddy. The demand that they sent had a time clock on it and a threat that they would take a different course of action if John Doe and his team did not commit to a confidential mediation to resolve this delicate and important matter by the deadline. Now, it does say that John Doe and his team reached out to the Busby firm to better understand the basis for these allegations and whether there was any evidence or real people behind the claims. And although the Busby firm did reveal some details related to what the client had to say, the firm would not provide information on how they were validating what the client was saying unless Jay and his team entered into a confidentiality agreement, and apparently they weren't willing to do that. This lawsuit says that these false allegations have caused John Doe emotional distress, including anxiety and fear for himself and his family, and that these heinous and false allegations could permanently tarnish his reputation, subjecting him to public scorn and condemnation. The fallout would irreparably harm his personal and professional life, destroying his career, legacy, and emotional well-being, while causing significant emotional and economic suffering. And so this John Doe is suing Tony Busby and his firm for extortion and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Child, I'm finna sue for emotional distress. I'm stressed out.
Listen, do you think that it was a good idea for Jay-Z to sue Tony Busby under the alias John Doe? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, after the lawsuit dropped, a whole lot of people online were speculating that the woman in the room with Diddy and Jay-Z could have been Beyonce. And then they started calculating, when did Bey become Jay's fiance? Listen, calm down. Put your calculators down, because I can confirm that the woman in the room who was watching the whole thing go down was definitely not Beyonce. And I know, somebody's gonna come through in the comment section like, how you know it wasn't Beyonce in that bedroom source? I know it because in the year 2000, Beyonce actually missed the MTV Music Awards due to the death of her uncle, who she was very close to. At the time, Beyonce and Destiny's Child were at the height of their success, but she chose to prioritize her family during a difficult time, and her absence was noticed by fans as Destiny's Child was nominated for several awards that night. Now, Beyonce's decision not to go to the MTV Music Awards in 2000 was because she wanted to stay at home and mourn the death of her uncle. So, not only was she not at the music awards, but she also wasn't at any after parties that night. So, because Bey decided to stay at home, you can X her off your suspect list. Now, on the other hand, Jay-Z definitely did attend Diddy's after party that night, because this right here is a picture of him at the after party rocking a red shirt with the white do-rag. Source, can you please show everybody the picture of Jay-Z at Diddy's MTV Music Awards after party? Alright, so as you can see, we have definitely placed Jay-Z at the scene of the crime at the time that the crime allegedly took place. So, he cannot use the fact that he wasn't there as a defense. But let me say this, just because he was at the party and then he was at the after party doesn't mean that he had a private party with Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Now, from what I can see based on my research, after the MTV Music Awards ended, Diddy and J-Lo changed their clothes and she got out of that green low-cut dress. Then, Diddy had his driver take him and J-Lo to the celebrity after party that he co-hosted with Eminem and Dr. Dre that took place at the now defunct Lotus nightclub in New York City. And from what I can see, anybody who was anybody was there, including Ja Rule, Busta Rhymes, Lil Bow Wow, Ben Stiller, Fred Durst, Ice-T, Dame Dash, David Blaine, Chris Brown's ex-girlfriend Karrueche, Christina Milian, T-Pain, Kenya Moore, and Nene Leakes. I mean, everybody was there, including Jay-Z. Alright, so while they were at the after party, there were several photos taken of Diddy rolling around a party, pouring alcohol from his bottle into other people's drinks. Then, fast forward, and something happened. I don't know what happened, but something happened. Because then, the mood changes in the after party, and J-Lo can be seen visibly arguing with Diddy, and during the argument, J-Lo seems to be visibly disgusted with the diddler. Source, can we please see the pictures of J-Lo and Diddy arguing? Yeah, see, when a woman looks at you like that, that's not like, okay, we got into a little argument and I'm a little upset. That right there is a look of, oh my goodness, mothercuffer, I cannot believe what you just did. I cannot rock with your black ASS. Listen, let me know down below. Am I right about the look? Is that the look that J-Lo's giving Diddy in that picture? Or, from what you can see, is that a different look? Listen, let me know what you think about the look that J-Lo's giving Diddy in the comments. And while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Listen, when the news broke that Jay-Z was involved in Diddy's accusations, I purposely didn't jump online because I was like, you know what, let me do a little research on this, because I don't want to go on YouTube and just regurgitate the same thing that everybody else is saying. I want to actually get down to the truth of this. And if you appreciate us trying to get down to the truth, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends, because now we're working towards 100,000 viewers and we need you to help us get there. Alright, so after J-Lo and Diddy spent a few hours at the club arguing, sources say that the two of them left the Lotus Club with an entourage that included a number of girls. Then, they drove to a house near the venue to continue celebrating the fact that J-Lo had just won a VMA award for Best Dance Video for her hit song, Waiting for Tonight. Now, the question is, did Jay-Z also go to the house like the 13-year-old girl said in her lawsuit? We don't know yet, but we're definitely looking into it. Now, Thus far, I cannot confirm that J-Lo is the anonymous female celebrity that was allegedly in a room with Jay-Z, Diddy, and a 13-year-old. But let me ask you this. If J-Lo was standing right by her man's side at the first after party, is there a strong possibility / probability that she was also standing right by your side at the after party? Let me know in the comments. Alright, so now this is where it gets interesting, because for some strange reason, after the news dropped that Jay-Z is accused of being allegedly like Diddy's sidekick when it comes to doing unscrupulous acts, Tina Knowles jumped online and liked one of the articles that was calling Jay-Z a PDF file.
Tina Knowles has liked something on Instagram that's very telling if her like was intentional, and I say that because I am somebody that does scroll very quickly on Instagram and I'll tap things and not mean to, but obviously in this situation you should probably pay attention to what you're liking. If you haven't already seen this, ABC7 Chicago posted about the recent headlines with Jay-Z, and there it is. She liked the post. I even went and verified myself. This is my own screenshot, and her like is in fact still there. Now, I don't really know what Beyonce's family's relationship with Jay-Z looks like. Do they like him? Do they not? We know what happened in 2014 in that elevator, but in 2011 she did do this interview where she said one time she was on a plane and an older white woman came up to her and made this comment, which she responded with, "I was very happy to educate her." She apologized at the end and she said, "I'm sorry, I just hear that." Tina responded with, "Yes, you assume, but you really should go and do some research on it because no, he's a CEO of a record label." And I said, "He's a very good person. He gives, he helps people." Does she still feel that way about Jay-Z, that he is a good person? Again, we don't know. Could this have been an accidental like? Yes, but I feel like when it comes to this situation, it's such a big story that, I mean, that's just not something I would quickly double tap. I don't know, but I'm just gonna leave it there.
That's really weird. So I'm just gonna have to assume that Tina Knowles actually made a mistake and double tapped that. But I mean, you never know. What do y'all think? Do you believe that Tina Knowles accidentally hit the like button when it came to the article that was talking about her son-in-law is a PDF file? Now, after the news dropped that Jay-Z was entangled, as Jada Pinkett Smith would say, in this whole mess, The Breakfast Club covered the situation, and Charlamagne the God was absolutely adamant when he said that this whole thing is extortion. After discussing Jay-Z's response to the allegations, Charlamagne the God said this.
Well, good for Hov. I'm glad Jay-Z responded just like that because this has been going on for too long. It is a grift. These accusers go to these lawyers with all these salacious claims. The lawyer will put more sauce on the salacious claims. They reach out to your team and say, if you don't settle with us, we're going to go public with these claims. And a lot of people settle because they don't want the bad press.
Where they don't have the money to...
It happens all the time. And like you said, the problem is it's very expensive, right? When you get these civil suits, it's very expensive. And like Charlamagne said, they'll go to the press. They'll make these press conferences. And what they want to do is they want to make sure that you lose money. Lose everything until you get to the point where you be like, you know what, let me just pay them off and get away from them. But Jay got enough to say, look, I'm going to fight this.
That's a very interesting stance, but I think it's too early to tell whether or not Jay-Z was involved or not, because we haven't seen any evidence on either side. And unlike Charlamagne, the reason why the source is not so quick to say Jay-Z is innocent and this is extortion is because Jay-Z has lied before. I remember back in the day when Jay-Z was accused of assaulting somebody at the Kit Kat Club, and his lawyer was like, he ain't do it, and Jay-Z was like, he ain't do it, and then it turned out that he did it.
A top rap star is busted.
Jay-Z turned himself in tonight, and the cops started working on his rap sheet, accusing him of a stabbing at a trendy party.
Kimberly Richardson is at Midtown South right now. Kimberly.
For Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night. But just a few moments ago, Carter's attorney had this to say.
He's not involved in this, period.
He was at the club?
That's my only comment. He wasn't involved in this.
So you pled guilty to charges of, I don't remember exactly the charges, assault with a deadly weapon. Is it?
They would have never let me be out here with you if that was the case.
You stabbed him. Okay. All right. Do you feel like that was a mistake in hindsight?
I believe that was the greatest thing ever, but I believe that helped me. You know what I'm saying? Because that put the brakes on everything. That let me know that no matter how successful you are and how much you're on your road, it can all stop.
Anyhow, after Charlamagne the God was so insistent that this was a grift against Jay-Z, I was like, you know what? Let me look into the attorney. Let me find out if Tony Busby is a legit attorney or if this dude is an ambulance chaser. And from what I can see, not only does Tony Busby appear to be legit, but he's also an ex-Marine that also represented Axel Acosta, one of the people who died in the Travis Scott Astro World Festival stampede.
Attorney Tony Busby says he's planning to file a lawsuit on behalf of Axel Acosta, one of the 8 young people who died. He's also representing more than 130 other concert goers who were hurt. Matt Doherty was at Busby's news conference this afternoon. What else can you tell us, Matt?
Well, like you said, Lynn, he is representing the family of one of the victims who died, more than 24 other plaintiffs. Axel Acosta died at the festival. He was 21 years old. Today, Attorney Busby says Acosta was swallowed up by the crowd and was ultimately trampled. Busby claims the event was dangerous, poorly planned, overcrowded, and understaffed by security and emergency responders. Busby is also assigning blame to Travis Scott himself.
In this lawsuit, we intend to change the way concerts are put on, organized, promoted, and managed in the United States and in the world. It's our goal to make sure that this good, decent, solid young man did not die for nothing.
Busby says a temporary restraining order was filed this afternoon. He wants Travis Scott and those involved in the event to be on notice to preserve anything that could be used as evidence in the future, like phone call records and text messages. We reached out to Live Nation tonight to see if they had a comment for us, but we're still waiting to hear back. Tony Busby also sent out this petition tonight. He's asking anyone in the community who has any photos or videos from the concert to contact his office.
Alright, so as you can see, Tony Busby is definitely a 100% legit attorney. He's not one of these dudes that you go outside and you walk to the bus stop and you see his phone number on the side of the bus seat. And also, when it comes to Tony Busby, people in Texas say that what you see is what you get.
When it comes to Tony Busby,
I'm just real.
What you see is what you get.
I don't pretend to be somebody I'm not.
And sometimes you just don't know what you're gonna get. But on this day,
yes. Welcome to my house.
Thank you. Hanging out with the aggressive trial attorney and mayoral candidate struck a new chord.
You have your basic G.
This man rocks. No, literally, he does.
Trying to get out that great big hill.
Call us the Busby Band. Me and Tony in tune, or at least trying to be.
He goes, hey, yeah.
He plays the piano and the guitar. Music is how he unwinds from the stresses of tough cases and now a vigorous mayoral campaign.
Usually if I'm not working at my office, I'll be working right here.
He's quite the Renaissance man. He has books of poetry he's written over the years.
He took a deep breath, perhaps the deepest of his life, and he jumped. But he didn't fall, he soared.
And when he's not spitting out rhythms and rhymes, he's playing with his dogs.
This is one of how many dogs?
I have 3. Poor old Lacey.
Lucy, Lacey, and Lily. And while the millionaire attorney sleeps in one of the most expensive houses in Houston, right on River Oaks Boulevard, he says his beginnings were humble. His mom, a school bus driver, dad, a meat packer. Busby went on to graduate from Texas A&M.
I was the battalion commander.
And then he became a Marine.
This is called spy rigging. It's when it's a special extraction of how they pull troops out of jungle environments and stuff, and that's me there at the bottom.
A Marine, a father, an attorney, a musician. The list goes on.
Listen, I know that Jay-Z thinks that he's mad hard and he's untouchable because he's from the Marcy Projects in Brooklyn. But I'm telling you right now, Jay-Z better not sleep on Tony Busby. You know why? Because this dude over here is like over there dingling from helicopters. I'm telling you, this dude Tony is no joke. And after Jay-Z said what he said, Tony responded by saying this: as far as the allegations in the complaint filed, we'll let the file speak for itself, and we'll litigate the facts in court, not the media. Listen, I don't know. Even though Jaden cleaned himself up, got him some Basquiat hair, and claims to have turned from his wicked ways, he's admitted to being a low-down, dirty, rotten scoundrel in the past. So, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Now, I usually don't give Whack 100 a whole lot of credit, but I gotta admit, Whack 100 called this one like 2 months ago.
I think this might be the last Super Bowl overseen by Jay-Z.
That's crazy you mentioned that, because let's pull up the screen. Where is it?
Jaguar, right?
whatever. I seen a clip earlier today of Jason Lee basically inferring that Jay-Z had sex with Foxy Brown when she was 15 and that it's all going to come out.
I called Jason Lee yesterday, did I not?
He doubled down privately because he wasn't saying Jay-Z's name. The people love Jay-Z so much that even if that allegation comes out and is basically proven, I just don't see people latching onto it and approving it and turning Jay-Z into a joke the way that they've done with Diddy.
We've seen some big names that are great, and usually when they do some type of little something, it goes the other way.
Okay, this is the thing though. It's not like they're just going to hit him with one allegation if they do hit him with anything. It's going to be, you did this, and also here's all this other shit that is not really well documented or not easily provable, but there's accusations, so we're going to take this one serious accusation that there's a lawsuit or some sort of evidence around or that appears to be true, and they're going to use that first story to lend credibility to all the other things.
Sounds like Bill Cosby.
Sounds like a lot of these situations, because you do have like the Cassie being thrown on the ground in the hotel, then you have like hundreds of other accusations now that probably have like almost no evidence.
No, I take that law firm serious.
Let me ask you guys a question. Do you believe that Jay-Z is different than Diddy? Meaning, when Diddy was accused, mad people were like, yeah, he did it. But now that Jay-Z's being accused, do you believe that they're gonna give the jiggler more benefit of the doubt than the diddler? Let me know in the comments below. Yo, let me know what you think about Jay-Z being accused of actual assault on what Kendrick Lamar would call A minor. And Jay-Z firing back with a strongly worded letter in a countersuit for extortion using the pseudonym John Doe, aka Sean Doe, aka Jigga Also, let me know what you think about Beyonce being excluded as an accomplice, J-Lo arguing with Diddy at the after party, Tina Knowles liking a post about her son being allegedly a PDF file, and Tony Busby saying, cuff your letter, ninja, you got 99 problems and Tony Busby is one. Listen, let me know what you think about all of that in the comments, and while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends. Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Peace.